How about y'all come on in and let's have us another visit here on the Humble Show. I am Grant Fletcher, and I am being joined by my co-hosts, Moonbeam Hallows and Brandon Cox, and there they are. Moonbeam, welcome back to the show.
Hi. Man, I missed you guys so much.
What's up with that, you know? We were talking, before we hit record, we were talking about, for some reason, the 1983 version of The Outsiders, the movie.
Yeah.
And just how the cast was kind of like a who's who of people that became somebody. And I just want to read off the list real quick for the Humbl Fam out there. Because we talked about this. You have Matt Dillon. You have Ralph Macchio. Patrick Swayze in the movie. Rob Lowe. Emilio Estevez. And Tom Cruise also in the movie as well. But we needed to point out that Tom Waits was in the movie.
Which I
which
need to see.
none of us remembered. And then we were like, yeah, you know the part where he's like, you gotta stay gold, pony boy. Like, was what he... You gotta go out west, pony boy.
On a downtown train.
Appreciate you. Yeah.
That's
so,
right.
you know, I mean, Tom Waits is there was an article or like a Hard Times article or something like that. One of those, you know, faux music news kind of thing. I think I sent it to Brandon. The headline said, Henry Rollins slated to appear in random 90s movie that you're watching right now.
Yeah.
And I think Tom Waits had that phase of his life too.
He still kind of does. He still shows up every once in a while.
I hadn't seen him in a whole lot of stuff.
Well, the thing, you're not looking hard enough.
No, I know.
Yeah. You didn't even know he was in The Outsiders.
I had no idea. I knew he was in Coffee and Cigarettes.
A lot of I think Iggy Pop was in that too, right?
Yeah,
He was.
He was in Tom Waits was in a movie called Seven Psychopaths.
Yes, he was. He was actually in
really
Wrist Cutters.
Yeah.
He was in that Coen Brothers film that was exclusively on Netflix, I think.
What was it called?
I don't know.
You know what I found out today?
Let's see, he's in Licorice Pizza. Oh, was it the Ballad of Buster Scruggs? That was the one.
Yeah.
Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
That's what you're talking about, Brandon.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. He was in Licorice Pizza.
Yeah, I don't know how big of a part he had in it, but he's in it.
That was a little indie flick that came out when we were doing the Joe Bob Jamboree.
Yeah, it would have been right around that time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, so speaking of Coen Brothers, my coworker Mel, she works with me at the Grindhouse. She made the comment this morning. She said that she went and watched Longlegs, and she was like, "Oh, it just really messed me up. It was really good."
Yeah.
And she was like, "And I don't normally like Nicolas Cage." And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" I was like, "What do you mean you don't normally like Nicolas Cage?" And she was like, I just, it was like I saw him in Con Air. I said, "Did you see Raising Arizona? Did you see Peggy Sue Got Married?" And she was like, "No, I've never seen Raising Arizona." So my charge to her was, "You need to go run, not walk, and go do that."
Yeah, there's a whole huge body of work there that you missed out on.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, "What do you mean you haven't seen?"
A lot of good movies. You could skip Con Air, though. I mean, you can skip, not Con Air, excuse me. You can skip Ghost Rider.
I thought that...
You want to, but you can't skip Peggy Sue Got Married.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't skip Raising Arizona. You can't skip Renfield was great. You can't skip what was it, Vampire's Kiss or Kiss from the Vampire? What was it called?
I think it's Vampire's Kiss.
Yeah, you can't skip that one.
Mm-hmm. What were you saying, Brandon? You had a thought?
I thought that Longlegs was a solid 5 out of 10.
Yeah, you thought it was real okay, huh?
I thought it was just like, so first and foremost, Nicolas Cage was amazing in that. He was fantastic. But here is something that I am absolutely sick to death of in horror films. And that is the premise of, hey now, hey, what if that 70s and 80s satanic panic was real? It's all very trite. Whenever you look into it, the whole plot is just very contrived, and none of the characters are developed to the point to where you care about them. But let me tell you, Nicolas Cage sure is a creep in that movie.
So is it kind of like is it kind of like House of the Devil, like that whole?
That is really what I think of it.
Yeah, had
It's
that vibe.
and I'm sick of that. To me it's just very contrived at this point.
Well, shoot, I was looking forward to seeing it. Now I'm all.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I keep hearing people are either like on one side or the other pretty firmly.
I think people are loving it because a lot of horror that comes out these days is dog shit. And this is actually pretty okay.
Yeah,
I want to see it.
I think we're probably getting like realistically like one really good horror movie a year right now.
Yes.
I think we're kind of in that rut at the moment, but it'll come around eventually once the studios kind of decide to get back in the mood to making them the way they made them again. Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's a cyclical thing.
They're getting cold on superhero films now, and they're going to video game films.
Well, I'll say this. Yeah, they are ramping up the video game film thing. But I'll say this, like a lot of the times people will look at things like, oh, superhero films are going the way of the Western, or this is going the way of the Western. They still make a lot of Westerns, y'all. They're not they're not dead. They still make at least a couple a year.
It's like
what was the last Western you saw?
Huh?
The last one I saw?
Yeah, what was the last Western?
Well, the last one that I know about, someone died on the set of, so there was that.
That's true.
Yeah,
but I do know Chandler Riggs is in one that just finished filming right now, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
But Grant, what you mentioned about Westerns, like it's kind of like the music scene, like everybody's like, oh, this year it's a new wave of emo. I'm like, emo never stopped.
Yeah, really.
Like I think like they're on like the 7th wave, and like I just want to tell all these dumb kids who think that they're recreating emo, like it never stopped. You're not doing anything new.
Yeah, hold on, I'm just looking right now on Rotten Tomatoes on Westerns that are coming out this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Are you talking about that Alec Baldwin movie?
7. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. 8. Yeah, no, and a lot of these are straight to streaming, which a lot of things are, but there are more than 6 that either have released or are being released this year.
Well done.
There's even a Calamity Jane movie that came out earlier this year that I did not know about. I mean, I don't really care.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's been done, but still.
I'm just
the Calamity Jane.
What's that?
I'm waiting on that Blood Meridian movie.
Yeah. Whew. Did you watch The Road, Brandon? You want to?
Well, what's that now?
That was the guy that he passed away this year.
Cormac McCarthy. He died last year.
Yeah, last year. He wrote The Road too, didn't he?
Yep. And No Country for Old Men, and gobs of other amazing novels.
But do you think that Blood Meridian? Because I know I made it about I don't know, I made it about 6 chapters into that, and I was like, man, I just got to turn this. I got to stop. I never finished it.
It's one of the best it's known as one of the best American novels, and I will absolutely agree with that. And I was also being very facetious about the whole it being a movie thing. It will never be a movie.
Yeah,
it cannot be made into a movie. It's so unbelievably heinous.
Yeah, I had to. I couldn't finish.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Where there's a will, there's a way. Sometimes they figure out how to do things.
No, they can't film this one. There's a lot of horrific things that cannot be shown on film.
Well, I mean, I agree. Or I think there's a lot of things that should not be, but they end up on it, right? There's a lot of things that get recorded that end up getting released out to the world as well, like songs. And Brandon, you did mention that you had a song in mind for a song recommendation this week.
Yeah. So, band by the name of Giant Swan, and the name of the song is 55-Year-Old Daughter. which I think is a very intense sounding name for a song, and it's a very intense band. They're an industrial techno act. The vocal chopping on that song I absolutely adore. I've never heard anything quite like it. It's heavily stuttered and chopped. But it's also quite melodic. It's really good. But let's see. I would say that my other recommendation, and I know that this is going to be an overdone and trite one, I suppose, but I've only just heard this album about a week or two ago, and that is Teen Age Riot by Sonic Youth. I just at the age of 34 bought a copy of Daydream Nation, and that album is everything it's chalked up to be. It's an amazing, impeccable moment in rock history. It's such a good album.
I'm glad you're finally getting on that wagon.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, sometimes you do have to put out the ones that, like you said, should be the obvious ones or whatever, because like you said, Brandon, people miss things, and sometimes it takes just someone recommending, oh no, you really need to go back and visit that. You really need to watch Raising Arizona. Sometimes
everybody needs to watch Raising Arizona. Yeah.
I can't believe Mel hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
She's so cool. She hadn't seen Raising Arizona.
Moonbeam, did you have a song in mind for this week?
Yeah, I do. Okay, so not to talk about my own stuff, but I got Anderson, our friend Anderson Silva, Green Devil Artwork, to do me a shirt design of one of my drinks at the greenhouse called the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, which is 6 shots of espresso, chocolate, white chocolate, and caramel, milk. You can enjoy it hot or over ice.
Mm-hmm.
It's delicious.
It's real good.
It is a lot of espresso, though.
It is the appropriate amount.
And got Anderson to draw me a picture, and it is epic. You can see it on my Instagram for the Grindhouse MS. But anyway, so ever since I posted that, I've had Behold a Pale Horse stuck in my head, which is a Savior Machine song.
Yeah.
And Savior Machine is I guess you would say like a Christian goth band
from Germany, right?
Germany, yeah.
Yeah.
And I got to see them about 20 something years ago at Cornerstone Festival, which is it used to be called like Japooza, or is put on by Japooza, Jesus People USA, which is it was out in a cornfield in Bushnell, Illinois, where all these bands would get together and play. It was kind of like for lack of a better words, like a Christian Woodstock kind of thing. And when I was young, I was still not. I wasn't comfortable saying I was uncomfortable, so I would go out and like stay in a tent instead of going and staying in a hotel. And it was always like a week of hell, because I hated being outside, and I hated being in the heat, and I hated being dirty, and it was a nightmare. But the music was really good. So anyway, I got to see them there. But anyway, Behold a Pale Horse by Savior Machine.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I like it. Cool. I feel like you've mentioned that song on the show before. So
yeah, I think this is either the second time you've recommended that song, but I know it's the second time that
you've recommended it. You brought it out.
No, edit it out. I sound like a moron. Well, I'm overtired. I don't get sleep. Look at me. I'm crazy. It's like I'm just so tired. So I've recommended that song before.
You've at least recommended the band before.
Yeah, you brought it up at some point.
Have I? Yeah. Just edit me out. Yeah.
Nope.
Just clip me all out of the show. Just all my lines will just be dead air, and then no.
What annoying.
Well, listen, this is your sign to go check out Behold a Pale Horse by Savior Machine if you haven't already. Sometimes you just need that other push.
Yeah.
Right?
I might recommend it next.
Kind of sort of go in the same vein, I guess, not in the goth sense, but and not even in the Christian sense, but a guy that was in a couple of Christian bands before, but is not currently. This is not a Christian band, but still. A 2-piece called a couple of guys together, Nico Yamada and a guy named Josh Scogan.
Oh, hey, the 90s or the 74s or something?
Well, you're on the right train of thought. So previously he was the singer of Norma Jean
Yeah, aka Ludacris.
Ludacris. And then the Chariot after that. But now they're a two-piece band called 68.
Ah, 68, yeah.
With like, so like the year 68.
And
essentially the idea behind the band was it's just two people, just drums and guitar, and vocals. And the idea was how much noise can two people make? And so they have this noise rock, punk rock band, and I've seen them live, and they're incredible. They really do. They really do they're very loud, and they get really creative with their sound and everything that they do, and they put on a really entertaining show. And so I'm going to recommend a song called "Whether Terrified or Unafraid." Is the song that I would go with by 68. Yeah. Whether Terrified or Unafraid. It's a really good track, and that's one where they do get a little creative with the vocals and just kind of they try all kind of different kind of cool weird stuff, and I like it.
That sounds awesome. Isn't Big Business a two-piece?
Yes. At one point they had they were a four-piece, but that was very brief, and then slightly before that they were a three-piece. But I'm glad that they decided to go back to being a two-piece.
Didn't they have the drummer from Carp at one point?
No. The drummer from Carp is dead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like before he passed, was he in that? No.
So the bassist from Carp, Jared Warren, is in Big Business. The drummer,
it all started to run together.
The drummer, I forget his name. I think it's Warren, Cody something or another. He was in Murder City Devils. He's in a lot of bands. He's also currently the drummer for High on Fire. But yeah, he is that is a drummer for Big Business.
Okay.
I think I saw High on Fire one time. I went to see a band called Priestess open for High on Fire.
Yeah. Priestess is good. Yeah, I have their second album.
They're not around anymore, but yeah. No. I mean, their first album was really good, and their second album, they just they put it all together. You know how a lot of bands tend to do. A lot of bands that are worth their weight, they find their sound in that second album. They really did, but they only put out two, and then they broke up, and it's a shame. But I do recommend both those albums by Priest. You know what? Come back next week. I'm gonna pick out a Priestess song for y'all to listen to. I'm gonna figure out which one I want to do though.
I distinctly remember that at least one of the members of Priestess, I think shortly after they broke up, they were in a band called Uncle Bad Touch.
That sounds about right. I kind of remember like that. Yeah, we bumped into the singer out in the French Quarter, and he was on his like third or fourth Four Loko, and it was an original Four Loko. It was before they.
Oh God!
Yeah. So
the kind that killed people who were too weak to drink it.
It was a good show.
Yeah, where are the conspiracy theories of like that, like culling the population?
Yeah, well, it might have been the thing that called Priestess. Who knows? I don't know. I digress. Yeah, but if you played Guitar Hero, they had a song called "Lay Down" on Guitar Hero 3.
They did.
It was, and that was a fun song to play too. It's a good song. It's a fun song to play. So sneak song recommendation: "Lay Down" by Priestess. And I'll have another one next week whenever we come back. So
yeah.
Either way, y'all listen. We are barreling towards Alabama Comic-Con. Moonbee made a face at me because she's.
Because I can't go.
Are you not going to be there?
No. I'm not going to be there because I got to work. Got to hustle this SH.
That house ain't going to grind without you being there.
Not going to grind without me, baby.
Yeah.
Do it.
Well, you'll be with us in spirit, and we'll video call you. We'll call you with Ron. We'll have Ron Simmons video call you.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I would have absolutely nothing to say.
How about
Ronnie Boy?
Don't bring up the Seminoles. They're having an abysmal season already. But yeah. So, but it is a big show. It's probably our biggest show we're doing this year. I'd say it would have been the biggest show we did last year too. Last year we had so many guests. I mean, there's no way it wasn't like just in size and in scope. It was the biggest show. But I was thinking to myself here, because we have Alabama Comic-Con. We're talking a lot about Louisiana Comic-Con already in March. A lot of really cool guest announcements are dropping for Louisiana Comic-Con. And then right about a year from now, we're also going to be doing the Happily Ever After Book Fest And
Yeah.
of course, we got Mobile Bay Anime Fest dropping somewhere in there too. And we just have such a wide range of things that we do in the entertainment space. And I think it's really awesome that we get together and we're able to bring people out that are really passionate about something and let them enjoy that thing and connect with each other and just have an awesome time. And I was kind of thinking, like, if you could book your own type of convention, what would it be? And what's like one or two examples of some guests you would want to book for that type of convention? Even if it's something that we already kind of sort of do already. Like if you had your way and, you know, you knew that like scheduling was going to work out perfectly and it was going to be in like the perfect place and all that good stuff. Like what would you want to do? I already kind of know at least who the person would be that Moonbeam would book.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I do wonder if you have any other thoughts on that. Brandon, have you thought about this? Would you book some kind of a music event or like a festival?
What if money was no object? Like
Right. Yeah. If you knew everything was going to work out like perfectly, like what type of thing would it be? And like, give me like one or two people that you would want. We still have to have the Dead Celebrity Convention too. We've never gone back and revisited that too.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, for me, like I would really want to, because we did Kayfabe Fest already. Like I said, that's why I would say like, you know, even if we've done something like it, you know, I would still want to do like a wrestling type show. And like, kind of like we did Kayfabe Fest, but just, you know, do the whole, like, we did, because it was a one-day thing. Like, a whole weekend would be cool to do. Like, WWE has this thing called Fan Access that they do every year. I don't know if y'all have heard about this or not, but it's essentially, it's their WrestleMania convention. They put it up around WrestleMania, and they have, like, all these really cool...
Oh, WrestleCon.
Well, so WrestleCon isn't related to WWE, but they do set up their tent adjacent to WrestleMania. Yes.
Sure, I didn't know.
I've been to WrestleCon before. WrestleCon's a lot of fun. I've been there. I've been a couple times, but yeah. So WWE has like fan access where they actually put up like displays. Like they have like old sets that they put up and you can do photo ops on, and they have like old like, you know, Andre the Giant's boot and, you know, stuff like that out there they put out there. And, you know, of course the meet and greets and things like that too. So that's a really cool type of event. So I feel like that's kind of my jam, because it's almost like a museum and a convention all in one, that they set up. And I'm kind of a, you know, I like a good museum visit myself. So something like that, they had those kind of artifacts on, but as far as like, well, I'd want to work with John Cena. I've already said this before. John Cena's my bucket list guy. So
Yeah.
if I could work with John Cena, I'd work with John Cena.
That's cool.
Yeah. Brandon, you look like you're ready to go.
So I don't even know what I would call it, but I suppose like an old internet con.
Oh,
Like,
that's
Oh, I like that.
I'm talking like primordial, not quite like, you know, BBS, sort of like, you know, bulletin board, sort of like, you know, like early 90s, but like
an E-Bombs World type.
Yeah, but
era.
don't invite the E-bomb people.
Maybe not.
I'm talking about, but yeah, like a lot of that same, like, you know, early 2000s, you know,
but like you'd have like the Numa Numa guy.
Yeah, and like, you know, the 55 guy,
yeah,
like, you know, all the stuff that we all saw on like albino black sheep and
Newgrounds and
especially Newgrounds, especially considering like apparently like a lot of those like animators are like still around, and some of them are like doing well, and some of them, I know this is going to ruin our booking chances, but some of them are washed up as hell.
I'm sure. That's the way it happens. That's what time does to a lot of us.
And like some people get like they fit in just real well within the YouTube space, and they're still going all these years later. And then some of them got really weird and really creepy, and they're no longer on the internet at all. I just want to get all that together heck, why not Moot from 4chan? Just get all that together, like and I think it would be like twofold. Like, I think it would be great to experience all that again, and get to relive some of that time. But then in addition, be like, well, those were really great years, but that was enough of that. Let's go back to the current year.
Would you get Tay for that show if you could?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. If only for him to because I know it was such a spectacle back in the day, but Chocolate Rain was a sincere song.
Yeah.
And I would want to give that guy some stage time to be like, no, it was just a very serious song about a very serious subject. And I would want, I feel like at this point, nobody's giggling at Chocolate Rain. It's been done. And I feel like he deserves his chance to tell people like, well, now that everybody's done laughing, let's get real for a second.
Yeah. All right. Let me ask you this. What about the Goosebumps girl? Would you get the Goosebumps girl? Yeah.
I mean, like, whenever it comes to I think now we're kind of going more towards the late 2000s, early 2010s.
I think so.
I'm talking about, let me be specific. I'm more about like pre-meme internet, a very glorious time, I think, because at once upon a time, in the late 2000, like the mid to late 2000s, memes were just kind of like this small thing that like hung around for a while. It had a lot of staying power, and not everybody was in on it. Like, you would post a picture, and like if it was back in 2006, 2007, if you posted that on social media, people were like, what the hell's this? It's a picture of Final Cell from Dragon Ball Z saying, I'm a charge in my laser. What does that mean? And I don't know, like, back then, not only was it more like a more insular inside joke, you got to be a real loser piece of crap to laugh at this, which that was me. But in addition, like, it was only just like, it was such a small aspect of the internet at large. And now, like, even like things that are not memes, just like image macros, like people putting text on an image, like that is now a meme. Like, everything is a meme now. Humor is abysmal, and we need to start the internet again.
We just need to reboot the internet. Someone just
need to reboot
turn
the
it off and turn
internet
it back on. Yeah. Would Chris Crocker qualify for your convention?
Oh wow. From what I understand, because I know someone who knows, and I don't know if they're going by Chris Crocker these days.
Yeah,
Really?
they've transitioned.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But whoever they are going as now, whoever their identity now, I'm not sure what their current name is, but I hear that they're not a pleasant person.
Oh, that's
so
a
shame. No.
Imagine that.
That's for anyone who doesn't know, that's the Leave Britney Alone video.
That said, they were really onto something. We really should have left Britney alone as an entire planet.
We've covered it before on this show, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. They were very much right.
All right. Well, Moonbeam, what kind of show would you book Rhonda Shear at?
Okay, so this is what I would do. I would do some sort of I would Google another name for Fest, okay? Because it's so overdone. I would ask Chat GPT to give me another word, but something like a filth fest. Like, I would like to have like all the people that have been in the John Waters movies. Like, I would really love Ricky Lake and Meek Soul and like Eddie Furlong and Christina Ricci.
Yes.
And Johnny Knoxville, and then like the old Debbie Harry. I would just think if like they would, if they were around, of course John Waters, like something like that, if money was no object. And then I would definitely want Rhonda Shear there, and I would want maybe Joe Bob Briggs, but just
Yeah.
him. And then let's see. Um, let's see who else would I want there. I don't know. I would want something like that, something along those lines, some kind of a filth fest.
Yeah. Or maybe a fet, if you will. If you want to go with the alliteration, like filth
Yeah,
fet. Fete.
filth
Yeah.
fest.
Yeah.
But like I would want it worded a little more graciously, more grace. Because
Yeah.
I don't want it to be just like, oh, that's just that's a pink flamingos nod. No, that's not what I want. But some
Right.
kind of like a trashy movie, like not that not that a lot of those that I
Did you
named
call
were
it like
trash.
smut slam or something like that? No, I feel like that sounds like
Not
worse than what it
really.
would be.
I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I mean, I feel like I was put on, but I would definitely want Rhonda Shear there. Um,
All right. So here's some synonyms for fest that have come across real quick.
oh, okay, here we go.
Fiesta, the
Oh,
filth
filth
fiesta,
I like that.
carnival, gala,
Mm,
jubilee, perhaps,
mm-mm.
exhibition,
Yeah.
jollities,
That sounds. What was that last one?
jollities. I don't think that would ring very
No.
well with
Yeah, I think
people that.
Fet's probably going to be your.
Yeah. What about a revelry of some type?
Oh yeah, filth of revelry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And the thing is like it'd probably be pretty niche. Raunch revelry.
Oh, I love that. That's good. Greg coming in clutch from off camera.
Yeah.
Yes. Raunch revelry. That's perfect.
That's his job. I come up with names for things. That's
I mean, that would be
90% of the work.
yeah, and I mean, I would want yeah. Ugh, could we get like Quentin Tarantino?
Why not? Right?
Why not? Because money's no object. We could get Tom Waits.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Tom Waits would fit in.
I feel like the only thing that he'd really be able to be like, I used to smoke a lot of cigarettes. Haven't since 1980, but I used
Still
to.
sounds like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick, Brandon, would you book Liam Sullivan, who played Kelly from the Shoes video?
Yeah.
Does that count, or is that too late?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the right time period.
Friend of the show, Claire Deadfield. I think we've had a moment where we bonded with that video, and I think we realized, or at least I pointed out, I'm like, oh my god, that video is like 18 or 19 years old. No, I think whenever we were talking about it, was 17. The video was 17 years old.
It's wild, man. We can
Brandon
can vote by now.
Yeah.
Listen, when I was in college,
Yeah.
at like in 99 2000, I used to play a game on the internet, and I don't play games, so y'all know it had to have been fun.
Hey, look, we know you don't play
something
games.
like really worthwhile.
Listen, it was called Pimp War. And so you would still hose with crack, and you got points by having it was terrible. I can't even describe it because I don't want anybody to judge me. But yeah,
was that a text-based game? What's that?
A what?
Text-based, like you typed in your commands or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like Leisure Suit Larry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So not so much. Yeah.
Look, there's, I mean, I don't want to be telling on us, or I don't want to be telling on anybody who's above the age of 30, but the old internet was a different place.
Really was.
You are not wrong.
It was a much different place. It was very much a Wild West. And let me tell you, whenever that dial tone started, your morals went out the window.
Talking about that modem noise.
That modem noise, yeah. That Mersbow.
There was something hypnotic. It just put you in some sort of a trance, and you came out at the end, and you didn't even know what had happened.
Time to be a bad person.
I love that. Here's an idea I want to know for the Humbl fam out there. Anybody watching this, anybody listening to this, I just had a thought. If you did like a 2000s reality TV convention, who would you book for your 2000s reality TV?
Oh, I would book that girl who shit on the stairs in Flavor of Love. Oh, she ran up the stairs and she boo-booed on the way.
What are you talking? What is it?
There was a VH1 reality show called Flavor of Love.
Oh, yeah, Flavor of Love with Flavor Flav.
Yeah, and one of the girls shitted on the stairs.
She shitted.
Yeah.
And it doesn't just like stay on one stair.
No, if I remember correctly, it was pretty like somehow like just a uniform turd rolled out.
Woo!
Yeah, so we need to get her. I don't know.
Remember her name? Please comment that below, because I know what you're talking about, Brandon, but I totally forgot about it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna have to go back and look that up.
Oh.
Get on the stairs. Woo!
God, I'm going to YouTube as soon as we're done with this, so I can just. Yes. Oh, but yeah. If you know her name, let me know what it was, because we need to know so we can find out who her booking agent is.
Yeah.
Got a booking agent? You could probably just call her Mama.
Could you imagine if we just did a Flavor of Love reunion somewhere?
Oh my gosh, yes, that would be amazing.
We were in LA on our honeymoon back in the day. We went on our honeymoon like 4 years after we got married. But anyway, we were at a restaurant and Brigitte Nielsen came in. She's
heck yeah.
Yeah, and she's 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
She's got to be 8 feet tall.
That's I guess I never thought about it, but yeah, it doesn't surprise me, I suppose.
She was a large lady. She was just statuesque.
You're like, who's this linebacker that just walked in here?
She's beautiful. I mean, even
I didn't say a linebacker couldn't be beautiful, Moonbeam.
Well, it sounded like it was like a slight against.
I didn't say linebackers. Nah. I didn't say linebackers were ugly. You ever seen Troy Polamalu?
No.
Good looking man.
I mean, I don't know anything about sports ball.
Clay Matthews.
Dave Matthews. Look.
Hold on. Okay, before we get to the trivia, we're going to have to do this because we missed an important anniversary.
Oh, dang.
Back in August. And I really want to look this up and really make sure that I get this right here. So back in August, we had the 20-year anniversary of when Dave Matthews' tour bus dumped poo into the Chicago River. But not just into the river, onto a boat that had people in it.
Yeah.
That's what happened. So just reading from Wikipedia here, I'm gonna put it out here right now. On August 8th, 2004, Wohl, I'm guessing that's the bus driver. Yeah. WHOL. On August 8, 2004, Wohl was alone in Tinsley's bus and driving to a downtown hotel when he emptied the bus's Blackwater tank as it crossed the metal grates of the Kinzie Street Bridge. Now, your Blackwater tank is your wastewater on an RV or bus, what have you.
Yeah.
Passenger boat Chicago's Little Lady was hosting a 1 p.m. Chicago Architecture Foundation tour. Of the Chicago River. While passing under the bridge, the boat received the full contents of the tank on the seats of its open roof terrace. Roughly 2/3 of the 120 passengers above the tour boat were soaked. The boat immediately returned to its dock where all passengers were issued refunds. I hope so.
Yeah.
5 passengers went to the hospital for testing. Oh, man.
That must mean some got into their mouth.
Yeah, there was an investigation. Yeah, it was what a wild story.
So I mean, so if you're just driving a tour bus, is there just like kind of like the trunk open button that you can just dump the dookie? Like it's
yeah, there's a specific like port, and there is a button that like kind of like there's a a pump situation or whatever.
No rules.
Typically, there's like you go to like a campsite or something like that. They have like designated areas where you or truck stop. They have like designated areas where you can
dump the mud.
Can get
honey.
rid of that properly. Yeah.
Well.
So. Lesson learned, I guess. Don't dump your waste into the shower. Of course, that doesn't really make up for the waste that he dumped on the audience at their show that night, but I digress.
Yeah.
Hey-o.
He could have been going over the Matthews Bridge.
Could have been.
No, I don't think there's any grates on that bridge.
I think that was their way of claiming it and turning it into the Matthews Bridge. Okay.
Matthews Bridge is just a grate. You go down.
Take him to the Matthews Bridge.
This has become the poop episode.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? At what is it? Raunch Rally. What did we call it? Raunch Revelry.
Raunch Revelry. Yeah.
Like little because Divine ate dog.
Yeah.
We're gonna have an historical reenactment of the Dave Matthews.
You need to invite Wool.
Yeah. Let's have him as a guest. There we go. Perfect.
It all fits in just like that. We just lost all 30 of our listeners.
Cool.
Hey, a lot of people watch us on TikTok. That's where everybody's tuning in lately. So I do have some trivia for us if y'all want to play.
Yeah.
It's something I tried at my trivia game this week, and I want y'all to experience this too. And this is just going to be, I don't think this will be a difficult round, but it is a round for speed. So I call it Iconic Movies as Described by a 7-year-old. I gave my 7-year-old daughter a list of some of her favorite movies, and I asked her to tell me what the movies were about. So given her description, y'all just have to yell out the name of the movie. So just cut me off when you feel like you got it. First one to answer will get a point. Let me know. Number 1, you've got to say his name 3 times and then he'll appear.
Beetlejuice.
I think y'all said it at both time. I'm giving y'all a point for that.
Yay.
Beetlejuice. But then she says, and then you got to say it 3 times to put him back in the little model. And he can control people's voices, and he can change clothes really fast, and he can shapeshift.
That's pretty cool.
All right, our next one here. 2 kids mix up with their parents, and Annie acts like Hallie.
The Parent Trap.
That's Parent Trap, yes. 2 Brandon, 1 Moonbeam. All right. Number 3, where a guy helps his friend's team win by putting this to make them bounce on their shoes.
Flubber.
That is Flubber. 2-2. Tie game. I have an even number here, so this could be a tie. I don't know. I didn't think about getting her to do an extra one.
Gonna be all right.
Number 4, 3 men try to find ghosts to suck them up.
Ghostbusters.
That is, yes. 3-2. The rest of it was, and there's a nice lady who gets stuck in a ghost in an evil ghost trap, and then she's locked, and then a man is locked out of his apartment, and a woman found a creepy dragon in her fridge, and eggs cracked automatically.
That's a
that's the whole plot of the movie. 3-2 Brandon. Okay. It's about, number 5, it's about a boy who has a dog who dies, but the boy brings his dog to life, and he tries to hide him from his parents so they don't find out he brought him back to life.
Oh, Frankenweenie.
Yes, 3-3. No, 3-3?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I gave you both a point on number 1. Yeah. Number 6, a movie where when an animal gets wet or gets fed after midnight, they turn into gremlins. Yes. 4-2-3 Moonbeam. And let's see, they turn into green, tiny monsters that cause mischief everywhere. And when the little monsters get wet, they turn into more. That's her description. 4-3 Moonbeam. All right. Number 7, a girl with emotions controlling her to make her feel angry or sad or happy or embarrassed or like something or bored, and makes her feel like she's anxious and think about everything else that already happened in the past.
What's the name of that movie?
What's it called?
Yeah.
Also be careful, because this is a specific one.
Is it Inside Out? Is that what it's called?
But where does she become anxious or bored?
Part 2.
Yes, Inside Out 2. Yes. 5-3 Moonbeam. Yeah, that's where anxiety and ennui come in, is in the second one. Number 8. I said 5-3 Moonbeam. Is that right? Yeah. There's a boy who gets sucked into a game and never comes back, but 2 kids find the game and play it. What'd you say?
Jumanji.
Yes, that's correct. All right. Moonbeam running away. And then it says, and then the boy comes out as a grown-up free from the game, and then he comes back in time from a grown-up as a kid, and he finally finds his dad. And then there was vines everywhere, and there are crazy monkeys everywhere.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's try another one. Number 9, a dad and kids. The kid's ball hits the shrink ray, and they go in there to see what's up.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yes, yeah. A little quicker on the take there. Let's see, but then... Yeah, she says, but then they get shrunked, and their dad thinks they're mice and throws them away, and everything is bigger than them, even the dog, and then they fall in some cereal, and they almost got eaten by their dad.
Yeah.
Which she swore when we were watching it that he thought they were mice, and that's why he swept them up and put them in the trash can. And I said, no, he just didn't see them because they were too tiny. And she was like, no, he thought they were mice.
Yeah.
I said, you don't throw mice in the trash can. That's not how that works. And the last one here, Moonbeam, you've already won, but we'll do this one anyway. A skeleton finds Christmas World, and he doesn't.
Hey, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, and he doesn't know what Christmas is. They're throwing snowballs instead of heads, so he tries to take over Christmas. Which is as good a reason as any to try to take over Christmas, I suppose. But yeah, point for Brandon on that one.
Yeah.
So that was a fun one. It was good. I thought that was going to be pretty easy, and like about half our team struggled with some of them. But I guess it's. If you haven't happened to have seen whatever movie she's describing, then you're just not going to get it anyway, right?
Yeah, so, I think it's a really good concept for trivia. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Especially because it's not like one specific type of movie. So, I think that's what makes it a little more difficult for certain people if you haven't seen, several different, whatever. Anyway. But yeah, that was a fun one. Moonbeam taking the game, nicely done. Coming back to ruin Brandon's night. So well done, Moonbeam. So, yeah, but Humbl Fam, I want to know, like, if you could book a convention, what kind of convention would you create, and who would you get to appear at your convention, at your fest, at your revelry, perhaps? I want to know. So. Drop that in the comments below. Leave a comment on our social media to let us know. Y'all, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss another episode of The Humbl Show. And you give us a like and you drop any kind of sort of comment down below because we will be back here next week for another little visit here on The Humbl Show. But until then, stay humble.